I changed the codes to the security system this morning and turning the keys over, and in a couple of more days, we'll be out of here.
Nearing the end of a 5-year commitment, Randy Davies turns the wheel of the Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce presidency over to former Chillicothe Gazette managing editor Mike Throne. Litter Media talked with both Davies and Throne before the changing of the guard took place.
Let's go back to when this all started for you. You had been working at the phone company, and suddenly this position becomes available.
Yeah, Marvin Jones decided to retire and head south for a little while, and this position became open. And I thought, it would be intriguing to maybe look into it and see what it was like. I always, in my position at Horizon, was very involved in the community and the communities that we served. And I thought it'd be a nice transition into that industry. And thankfully, the board of directors at that time agreed, and we started on January 1st, 2014.
Will we run into a circumstance with you like we did with Marvin? I mean, retiring and going south's one thing, but Chillicothe always seems to draw people back.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, and rightfully so. It's a great place to live, work, and play, and we see that a lot. When we talk about people raising their families here and then maybe going off to college or going somewhere else for a little while, but somehow they always end up coming back here. And my family's been here for generations. And hopefully they will be for generations more. But it's always been the dream of Christy, my wife, and I to head south for a little while and just enjoy the coast and that type of climate. And I can't wait just to next week walk the beach and reflect and just kind of drink coffee and walk around and kick some shells around, and then when I get bored, I'll probably go bag groceries at Food Lion or someplace. I don't know, I'll do something, but right now I need to take a little time just to rest a little bit.
When you actually turn those, the official scissors over to this guy, talk about what a hire this has been.
That's a really good analogy, because at my first ribbon cutting, they were bent. They're big aluminum, they're heavy scissors, they're massive scissors, they're like 3 foot long. And so when we would cut it, the ribbon wouldn't cut, so we'd have to pull it. And so it took a little while to get those things bent back into shape. And I think that's a good analogy to say, things are a little bent, they're not perfect, and they never will be. And so, Mike's going to get to tweak them a little bit and bend them a little more, along with everything else that the organization has. And that's what makes a good organization. This chamber was at a great level, doing phenomenal things. I think our board and our staff has worked really hard to bring it to another level. And I know for a fact that it's going to go to a higher level because there's just a great group of professional people that are within the walls that are going to make sure that this community continues to thrive and be successful.
I joke with everybody that I've been following him around like a puppy, because it does feel like that. There are tasks that are as mundane as doing payroll or, working through receipts and passing those on to the accountants, to maintaining the relationships that he's built. And it's important for me, I think, to do that, because a lot of the relationships that he's built or even maintained from past chamber directors have been very important ones for this community. And so we'll probably just talk a lot between now and Thursday, but I think if there's any document, it's all right here, because he's given me all the institutional memory that he's been able to remember, at least. And then if Randy said anything over and over again, I don't know if you want to do it this way, but this is the way I did it, which I think is a great thing to say to somebody that's coming into this position. So, because it's like, look, I did it this way because that was my method of thought, but you may have a different way to do it. But I don't see the harm in doing things his way so far. So it's been a really good transition for me. A little quieter than being behind the desk at an editor's in an editor's chair, but it's going to get a lot busier, I know.
One of the biggest moves to happen during your tenure was showing that the chamber was willing to invest in its community as opposed to just being the cheerleader for the community. You got involved with taking over the downtown association, all that stuff. Give us your impressions on that area.
There are a lot of great people doing wonderful things in our area, and many times they leaned on the chamber to help in difficult times to have those organizations continue. And the Downtown Associates was one of those that we've been asked 5 times to help manage that organization since 1973 when they began. And so we talked with the board of directors now going on 3 years ago, and said we'll go ahead and manage it, but let's do it on a full-time basis now. Let's make it a complete committee of the Chamber of Commerce, and so that there's consistency, that we all have one voice and we can all work together as it should be. And it's worked great. We have a staff member, Brianna Hood, who's our downtown manager, who works on promotions and events and just does a wonderful job. The relationships have become to get stronger. They're sharing now, the businesses are sharing with us thoughts and ideas. They're very engaged. They now communicate with one another better than I think they ever have before. And we have a wonderful, vibrant downtown. And a lot of it is because their willingness to participate and to make it better. And we just help kind of guide that path a little bit. Our community's ready and ripe for big things. As World Heritage continues to become more of a realization, we can't just say, oh, it's coming. It's coming. And we're not ready. And I can boldly say that. We are not ready as a community. We have a lot to do and a very short amount of time to do it. And there are 2 other communities that are facing the same thing. So as those 2 communities work on their enhancement, we're starting to do that as well. And there's a lot of momentum, a lot of great things that are going to happen, and it's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to come back in 3 to 5 years and see the changes that have taken place just because of the designation of World Heritage. It's going to change the lives of our community forever. You know, we used to really want the business and industry and thought that was the backbone of what our community was going to be. And it is today and always probably will be, but we're transitioning naturally into a true tourism destination. And we're not going to stop it. It's happening on its own. We're getting a lot of people from all over the country that comes here for our trails and for our hills and for our mounds and our waterways and just the beauty of the area. And it's been a natural thing. It's why it's called a gathering place. And that's going to continue. So the work that has to take place over the next couple of years to help develop that, coordinate it, make sure everybody's on the same page and that signs point to the right direction. What's the true entrance to our city? How do you get from the Columbus Airport into the Dayton Airport? There's a lot of things to look at, and just a short amount of time to get it right. So Mike's got a lot to do.
You know, a lot of what we do here at the Chamber, I think, is working with Greater Chillicothe and the CIC and all these different groups that have over the years helped to secure the manufacturing jobs that we have, which usually, you know, most of them reside outside of the city limits, to help try to bring in new industry or new jobs in here as well, whether they be construction jobs to help build new things or to maintain the businesses that we have. You know, I look at our manufacturing segment as we've had our ups and downs, and certainly there are some aspects of the manufacturing business in Ross County that are in flux. But you look at other parts of that, and you see a flourishing 159 corridor. You see an ability for us to continue to improve. And then there are a lot of small businesses in the Bainbridges and the Frankfurts and the Kingstons and Londonderry, Richmondale that people may not automatically think of, but they serve a great role not only for those communities, but you know, I'm willing to drive to Bainbridge to get something or to Frankfurt to get something. And so I think those are the types of things that in the Chamber we need to continue to help out, so that way the whole county feels the success and feels that we're thriving.
during my time here, I've lived through 4, maybe 5 people in your position. The last 3 now have come from the world of media.
Yeah.
And you think that's a good thing?
Well, it's worked out pretty well for us so far. And hopefully I continue that. I think that the good thing is when you understand communicating vision, one of my big things is we need to believe and tell our own story more. And I think Randy and I think Marvin both understood that and wanted Chillicothe to understand that its role in Southern Ohio and in Ohio period is not only full of history but full of promise. I think those things go into making a good chamber CEO. And I think so many times what I hear from folks is we'll complain about little things in our community that we want to overshadow the big things that are going on. I'd like to see less of that. I'd like to see more of us celebrating our success and then mounting more successes to celebrate. And but that comes with a lot of hard work, and it comes with a lot of determination to not accept the status quo. And I think in media we get taught, we can't accept the status quo. There's always something that you could be reporting on and doing more to try and fix or to try and help people get better. And I think that's exactly what we do here. And so I hope to continue that tradition.
What will you take from this experience for the rest of your life?
Oh, the memories and the relationships have been great. I mean, phenomenal. Friends that we just, grown to love and we'll miss.